Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. We're doing it on July the 24th. That's right, it's Wednesday, 2024. That is 2024. 224. Doing it, baby. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Once again, dropped every Wednesday and Friday for the meantime. Find it on Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you like the full-length videos, check out patreon.com/RobSadri. If you like to fiscally, financially support the show. If you'd like to see it grow right before your pretty, beautiful little eyes. Your big eyes, your small, medium-sized eyes, your regular-sized eyes, even your pupils and all that shit. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, whether it's down south in the United States, over there Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Vietnam, over there in Thailand, over there in Singapore, over there in the stands, over there in Europe, over there in Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Middle East, everywhere. Underground, overground, overboard, underboard, in the water, deep into the depths of the ocean, wherever you're tuning in from. If you're in a tunnel right now, if you somehow got access to internet in a bunker, congratulations. How'd you do it? Doesn't matter. Let's get right into it. I hope you're all doing well, whatever you're doing out there. I hope you're doing well. I hope that life is treating you nice. Hope you're all living to the fullest or whatnot. Let's get a sip of this bad boy first of all. Let's get caffeinated, shall we, before we get right into it. Ah, yes. Right there, baby. Let's get right into it. I'm going to begin by just sharing a little bit of what's been going on in my life, a little bit of personnel, and then we'll get into the other stuff, whatever's out there. I did recently, every one of us comes, there's times when the life throws you a curveball or a challenge, but it's not the challenge that does the curving. It's you look at your cock and you say, can you curve it that much though? Or whatnot. So I'll say this, on Monday I was caught off guard. I was a little bit, it came out of the left field instead of the right field. I think these are baseball terms, which I'm not fully aware of. Left field came out of the left field. Is that a field that's like to the left of the baseball field? Is it a part of the baseball field itself, or is it like is it an extra field to the left? And why is it always coming from the left? Why is it now, you caught me off guard you came right out of right field? Midfield? Is it even baseball? It's sports related, but we're not here to talk about that. Something happened that caught me off guard, and it's one of those things. Again, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, happy to be alive and kicking amongst you, but it's one of those things, the little things that remind us of the big things that are important in life. Got up Monday morning, about to take on the world, about to fucking shine my horns, about to fucking, get out there, do your little morning squatties, push-ups, sit-ups, shit, shave, shower, all that. But that's the thing, shit, shave went just fine, shit, shave, just fine. Shower caught me off guard because I turn on the water and it's cold, it's fucking freezing. I'm like, what's going on, man? Maybe it'll take it'll take a few seconds for it to warm up. So I'm nude. I'm standing nude in the bathtub, naked. And naked as the day I was born. Probably even more naked, because when you're born, you're covered with like bodily fluids from your mom's vag and all the placenta. So you are nude when you're born, but you're not like nude. I'm more nude today than I was nude back then. I'll say that. Because initially, when you do get layer of placenta, you could, yes, nude as I was on the day I was born, but not covered in placenta. If we can take one thing away from this, is that on this Monday, I was not covered in placenta. Is for better or worse, we will find out. But I was not covered in placenta. Do I wish I was covered in placenta? Who can't use an extra bit of give me a shot of placenta. Just put a little bit in my, just open my mouth and put a little bit of placenta. I think it's good for you. People cook it up and they hand it out at family gatherings. Try this hors d'oeuvre. What is it? Guess what it is? You gotta eat it first. You ate it, Jim? Well, it's placenta. You just have Jim's throwing up in the corner, but that'll probably will enhance his microbiome or something in the digestive tract. It'll make him a better birth giver if he were to, or a birth taker. A lot of people give birth, but what about the birth takers? That's maybe he probably won't be able to give birth, but he will definitely take birth. He will. I've seen him give him it, but I've not seen him taking it. So I'll say he will now, after taking a shot of placenta, he's gonna be a birth taker, maybe a birth receiver. He won't be a birth dropper like the females out there. He won't be one of them life droppers, them little female, but he will know what it's like. Or something along those lines, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's get some of this babble, but that's the thing. Let's just clear one thing before we move forward. Not covered in placenta, despite the odds. But naked nonetheless, waiting, standing in the shower. I'm just like, when's this water gonna turn hot? When's it gonna turn hot? I'm standing, 30 seconds goes by, no hot water. A minute goes, no hot water. 2 minutes, 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, all right. Well, your boy's got to get ready. Boy's got to get out there and get life. Life doesn't wait for you. You wait for life. Nobody waits for anybody. Life doesn't wait, and you don't wait for life. Something about life and time, and somebody's waiting somewhere, but it doesn't. I was naked and I'm just like kneeling down. I'm just like, maybe I stick my foot under water. I'm like trying to feel it to see if it gets any warmer. Then I take my foot back and I'm like, did it get warmer? Did it get warmer? And again, some time had passed by, so I'm just like, now I'm doubting my ability to tell if the water is actually hot or if it's still cold. But I stick my feet under the water, it's still cold, but I've now got it, I've stuck it and I've pulled it back. I stick it in the water, I pull it back, stick it, pull it back. So now I'm kind of getting used to the cold water. I'm like, it's not as cold as initially experienced, but still cold nonetheless. But now my feet are kind of numb, so I can't feel my feet anymore. They're not, I can't feel it, so it's not reliable. It's not a reliable source of measuring how cold or hot the water is. So I'm like, okay, now you gotta kneel down, get on your knees, get your hands on the water, get your hands on the tap, see what it's like. So I'm kneeling down again, nude. That's the day I was born, but again, way more nuder today, or Monday. Still today nude as well, but like, a lot of naked times in the shower, just knelt down, balls hitting the bathtub, cold, yes, but it made me feel alive. My hands are in the water, still feeling cold. I'm like, I can't. It's freezing. Normally, if it was a little bit chilly willy, I'd take a shower. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm like, all right, well, this is 15 minutes I'm gone by now, and I'm just like, this is not getting any, and I gotta get out. I gotta get out there, get the day going. And that's, I started in my head, I was just like, think of strong men and women who take cold showers or ice baths, or like, sink themselves in cold temperatures, and just, I'm yelling people's names. Wim Hof, just fucking Wim Hof, just getting in there, but it didn't work. So I bitched out, and it was freezing. It was really cold. All right, it wasn't one of those like, it's made for TV, look how cold it gets. Not to say that made-for-TV coldness isn't real cold, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Mind you, if it was a competition, I'd get in there, but there was no comp. There was no audition, there was no comp. I'm like, all right, just get out, wash your face, and that'll have to, you'll come back and maybe take a shower in the evening. Hopefully the water will be, and it caught me off guard though, but it's one of those little things that reminds us, at least reminded me, I'm like, man, we are so privileged, we are so lucky. Hardly any days come by where there's no hot water. Hardly any days come by where there is no light, where there's no, roof over our heads, food in our belly. So yes, it made me be grateful and thankful. Was I a little bit musky the day of? Sure. But I'm just like, let the pheromones out. The ladies love the pheromones. If anything, today's the day that the ladies are gonna be walking by whiffing and just like, and I'm not, everybody's got a scent to them. I'm not heavily scented, even if I go a day or two. Luckily, it's not like that. Of course, everybody's got a scent. I'm not saying I don't, but it's not like, it won't like, so I could go a day without showering, and I'm not out there like fucking, I'm not doing, physically demanding tasks that like, I'm doing all right, mid-level physical tasks, but that's it. So it was just one of those reminders. It was like, yes, thank God I'm not covered in placenta, but also give me a shot of placenta, but also it'd be nice to have hot water. I did go to dump the garbage. I noticed a signage on the door of the garbage room. It said that our water pipes are being maintained or whatever, not having any hot water. I'm like, oh, well, I should have probably dumped the garbage first, and I would have read the notice so I'm not kneeling down, just balls to the bathtub, just waiting, asking when is it going to be my turn. And then on Monday it wasn't my turn, so I waited, and I'm better off for it, but that's just a little bit of me, and lucky to be here, glad to be here. I hope you guys and gals out there are doing well, and yes, it's good to just count the little things, and that's what I did. I counted it. It's one great little thing, which in retrospect, fucking beautiful thing, because I've got access to clean water. Again, things we take for granted. A lot of people don't have access to water. And that's one of those things. I'm like, man, fucking killing in the water, access to clean water game. This guy, 1%er, fucking killing it, So all those fucking, there's a lot of people that don't have access to clean water still in 2024, all around, globally speaking, that is. So I'm like, oh, feel good about yourself. Look at those chumps, don't have access to water. Who's winning in life? This guy's a 1%er. Clean water, dude. So I'm just like, I got out, a little musky, but nonetheless, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do this shit. Who's better today? You are. I said that to myself. It's just, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little bit of me. Maybe you experienced a little bit of water outage, maybe you experienced a little bit of electrical shortage outage or whatever, maybe, and we'll get into that later down the line as well, but let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen. I've been thinking, I love spirits. I love, I'm not talking about otherworldly entities. Of course, those, I like those spirits too. But I like spirits. I like a drink every now and again. I was gifted a bottle of whiskey, which was nice, and I'm not a big drinker, definitely used to drink when I was a little bit, younger. Gradually throughout the year, I prefer my reefer, to be honest with you. I'll have a drink with you now and again. I won't, but I did come in, it came into my possession, a bottle of whiskey, which was nice. So I did down that bottle over a few days, which was pretty nice, not gonna lie to you, but what I'm trying to say is that, I'm a fan of the spirits. Again, not talking like ghosts and goblins, and again, fan of those too. I'm not talking Ghostbusters, but I am, but we're talking about something different here. I'm not talking about fucking, Casper or Jasper or, any, I'm not talking about entities that are just doing flybys, fucking doing a little bit of that peekaboo, just fucking hiding in the shower, touching your butt a little bit, and who was it? And you're like, no one. And you're like, why are they talking to me? And it's none of those situations, none of those come out the shower, there's a note on your bathroom mirror, look behind you, no one's there. Who left that note? That you remind yourself, you left that note just to remind yourself, look over your shoulder every once in a while. But nonetheless, I'm not talking about those kind of spirits. I'm talking about, drink spirits. And it came to me that I'd like to see I don't want to make this myself. I'd like somebody to go out there and make it. I'm talking about a brand of vodka. I don't know if it exists out there, but I thought about a great name for a vodka brand, Jerk Off Vodka. I don't know if it's just Jerk Off Vodka. It is the best that Europe, maybe Western Europe and Eastern European brand, overall European brand of vodka. Yeah, Slavic brand of vodka, Jerk Off Vodka. It's got a good ring to it. It's Jerk Off Vodka because that's the type of vodka that'll grow a little bit of hair on your chest. Jerk Off Vodka. Get a little bit of jerk off. What is this? What are we sipping on today? They'll say when you bring it to the party. Oh, this is just a little bit of that jerk off spirits. Get a little bit of jerk off vodka in your life. Jerk off vodka. Great for when you want to go dance a little bit in the discotheque. With the discotheque, you want to maybe sport a little bit of the stripe pattern windbreaker, maybe a little bit of the tracksuit. Yeah, have a couple of shots of the old jerk off vodka. Get the party going. You know what I mean? Little bit of Jerk Off Vodka, brought to you by Jerk Off Vodka. These productions are massively sponsored by Jerk Off Vodka. I drink nothing but Jerk Off Vodka when I want to go out on the town and paint it black. paint it pink, red, doesn't matter what color I want to pick to paint the town with. What matters is I'm drinking jerk of vodka, and you can be drinking jerk of vodka today as well. Давай, jerk of vodka. Does got a ring to it, I do like it. I hope you like it too. And maybe somebody, I didn't do the research to be honest with you. Right now there could be a jerk off vodka. If there is, then I think then this, because I've done zero research, I've not looked into jerk off vodka to see if it exists. But if it does exist, know that I am a fan of the spirits, every once in a while. If you happen to be like, oh, we would like our brand to go global. And you know who does it more? No one does it more global than this guy and this gang and this family and this syndicate. Proudly sponsored by Off Vodka. For when you want to drop off the kids that you didn't even know you had at the local school for their extracurricular activities, that? Yeah. Off Vodka. For when we want to get a little bit of the lottery tickets, scratch and win seat outside the convenience store, Off Vodka is there to soothe away the pains of life. Off Vodka. But also great to get lit. Chain smoke 5 cigarettes simultaneously with Off Vodka. I'm just saying, I think it's got a good name to it. I'm just thinking if we can stick a silhouette of an Eastern European fellow with a nice beard and a mustache just from the side or something, this is Off Vodka invented in 1770 whatever. With secret recipe. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to talk about jerk-off vodka all day, every day. You know what I mean? But get a sip, get a bottle, fill up your shelves, stock up, baby, because we are locking and we are locked, ready and loaded. I think times are mysterious times. Times are, who knows what's going on in and around the world. We are living in fast and loose times. Things are shifting and it's shifty times. Let's just say that. I'll say this, I'm great to see, first responders arrive to the scene of the crime or emergency. But if I could say, is there room for improvement? Are there any spaces where we can, implement a little bit of change, come in there and do things a little bit differently? I say I'm definitely glad to, have first responders out there, whether they're police officers, firefighters, ambulance drivers, chopper drivers, fucking, drone operators, helicopter, fucking, little trimming of the helicopters, little, helicopters who like to just do a little bit of 69, small two engine airplanes that are just doing, whatever, just fucking doing grid work. Look at it, I'm happy to see it already, but I do like to see other factions, other responders implemented in society. I think we gotta, because first responders, when they come, everything's you call 911, we want that first responder to be there ASAP, and most of the time they're beautiful men and women who put their lives on the line and take care of the you and me out there, should we need them. And it's great, but they're there with a certain mindset. They go through the schooling, the training. You gotta be of a certain aptitude. You gotta be of the, you gotta be fucking cold, hard, calculated, not impacted by things. Or if you are impacted by things, you see a couple of, and you see enough drive-bys and enough fires, you're just, now next thing you know, you gotta be paying somebody to step on your nutsack with a pair of high heels to feel something, or maybe not. I don't know. They're good people. I like them, love them. But I will say this: I would like to see second responders, because first responders are immediately there to attend to the emergencies and whatnot. They're of a certain ilk. They're of a the certain mindset. It's an emergency mindset. And they get there, where's the fire? Point me to the fire. Where them hose at? Get out the way, hose. This isn't time in the place. And the hose are fanning out on the firefighters, and they're like, oh, sign my tits, Mr. Firefighter Man, or something. But they're just beautiful hose. There's a time and a place for everything. Catch me after the shift at the local department, and we can go grab a drink or two, talk about some Off Vodka, which is probably the best vodka there is in the world. And, just kick it a little bit. But I'd like to see second responders, a more relaxed sort of response. Perhaps they arrive maybe 30, 40 minutes after the first responders. Second responders, way more relaxed. Maybe they're the type of responders who don't believe in seatbelts. Maybe they're the kind of responders that might smoke on the way to the scene of the crime. Maybe they're the type of responders that you might want to call a second or third time because they're busy getting it on and they might not respond on the first try because they're what? They're the second responders. They're way more relaxed. They're more chill. They're of a different mindset as well. But I do like to see them. They're of the type that'll show up. Maybe not immediately get out of the car. Maybe just like lower the windows a little bit. Just lower it a little bit. Just peek a head out the window. Just be like, what's going on there? Emergency, is there? First responders on site? Yeah, great, okay. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a roundabout. We're gonna go grab a couple. Anybody want donuts? Anybody want donuts, coffee? Donuts, coffee, line of Coke. Anybody want donuts, line of coffee? Cup of Coke? Anyone? Anyone? All right, be back in 10. Second responders, they come back. You know, by then the first responders would have actually, you know, maybe put somebody on a stretcher. Maybe I've already made the trip up the ladder and down the ladder and rescued a couple of hotties in a burning building. Because of course that's all we save anyway. Because if you are out there, if you're a male over 50, slightly overweight, I don't want to see any firefighters, emergency services risking their lives, but that's just me. Hotties, 25 to 35 priority. Anybody else out the window, you just gotta, you know, it's, again, life doesn't wait for you, neither do you for life. So all I'm saying is I like to see second responders, just a little bit of a relaxed attitude. Perhaps later down the line when the second responders are established and people have actually gotten used to them, we could bring in and introduce a third responder, which is just really going full circle. Maybe they're the cause of the emergency in the first place anyway. You got a couple of guys who are just really loose, really just of a mindset that, hey, where's the party at? Hey, good times, right? Let's get it on. Let's wipe your tears, wipe the blood. Broken elbow, broken schmelmo, pop it back in. We've got more rotator cuffs than the fucking, you know, Paralympics or something. So I'm just saying, it's a mixed bag out there today, but I do want to see second responders. Just because first responders are there, you know, it's an emergency. Sometimes it might not be an emergency, you know what I mean? Sometimes you might just need somebody to like drive by and be like, hey, get up. Let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with a situation where you thought you needed emergency services, but then down the line it turned out that really you could have just used somebody to tell you, hey, get up, dust yourself off there, hand you a little loose cig and maybe a blunt, maybe a shot of Off Vodka, maybe to get you going for your day. But that's just what I want to see. It's not about me. It's not about what I want to see. It's about what the gang wants to see. If you like to see second responders become a thing in our society, globally speaking, that is, you know, maybe a couple of helicopter operators who will, you know, drive above you and just like lower a ladder, but they'll fucking quickly pull it back up just because, again, this is a set. We're not really there to help. We're there to, if you really need the help, we'll get there. But we know the first responders will take care of it. Second responders are more so for, you know, overall feel good vibes and just checking on the first responders, if anything. You know, do the first responders, because that's the thing. First responders respond to regular people, but who responds to first responders, right? That's what I'm saying. You know, who are the doctors for the doctors? Perhaps that's the role of the site. That was the hidden, and today we found, and right then and there, he found the hidden role of the second responders. No, we did it together. Not the type that likes to get out there and take fucking, you know, credit for coming up with a whole industry of people who are now, specifically in these times, jobs are being fucking eliminated, competition's up there, robots, AI, all this, the guy who tries too hard at work, the guy that doesn't try enough at work. So all that jazz, and you're like, where's the new industry? Well, you're welcome, second responders, there you go. Put on a nice outfit, whatever you like, because we don't believe in outfits. Or maybe just short shorts, pair of jorts really, cowboy boots and a tank top, and you should be ready to respond. When the seconds are, we need a good slogan for the second. when there are only seconds on the, when seconds turn into minutes, when we are the second responders, they're not the, we'll come up with a slogan next time, but second responders, let there be alternative means of, you know, attending to your fucking emergencies out there. Sip to the gang, of course. I do want to say this. Been thinking about this, you know, just because one of those things we have seen a lot of, you know, in our daily lives when we go up and down the stairs, we do come across certain things that might be, again, taken for granted. You're like, oh, I gotta, these set of stairs are, you know, highly sloped, the fucking slant on these stairs. I need to hold on to something. And before something was there for you to hold on to, people used to tumble down the set of stairs and break their necks and backs and just fucking, you know, go start off at the top of the stairs, male, trip and fall down at the bottom of the stairs, all female, everything's broken. You know, I've seen a fella or a lady trip up the stairs, which was crazy too. They came out trans at the top of the stairs, fully straight, fell up the stairs, broke everything, trans. I saw a trans fall down the stairs, midway through the stairs, went fucking straight, gay. By the time he was at the bottom, full trans once again, which was crazy. I'm all for it, but I'm like, this was back in, of course, 1877, if I'm not mistaken. That's when I came up with the idea of handrails for stairs. You're welcome. And that's what I'm like, you know, yeah, we need something for people to hold on to. And I experimented with the idea. First, I'm like, man, people need handrails to be able to hold on to the side of the stairs or escalators when they're going down the stairs or the escalators. And that's when I decided to come up with the handrails. Initially, handrails, of course, when I designed them, it was, there was a lot of deceased at the time because the local plague, or, you know, or as we used to call it, the Black Plague. Although I don't like to associate negative, you know, things with the color black, because I'm not one of those, because I say it was a white plague. I'll you know, but I'm not there to, I'll just say it was a gray plague. You know, it was a great plague. It was fucking vicious, and people wore hazmat suits. It was crazy. You had to be there, but I'm glad you weren't, because it was crazy. But I wanted to come up with handrails, but I'm like, oh, I wonder what people could hold on to. But that's, again, because of the many bodies laying around because of this said plague. We took the hands of the deceased and attached them to the side of the stairs. And when people, and then soon, people were walking up and down the stairs and tripping and falling, but nonetheless, they weren't falling fully and smashing their skulls open and having to wait in line to get a lobotomy. No, because they were able to hold on to someone's hand who was detached from their dead body and stuck to the side of the stair railing, so they could, and then that's what they did, and that people relied on each other's. So it was a little bit difficult. Of course, now looking back, we did have to change the design. We eventually went with just maybe just stick a little bit of piece of wood or metal out the side of the, you know, just hip level gripping mechanism so that people can hold on to it. Hands were good, but it wasn't something you can't, and you're like, bring that back. That sounds like a fantastic product. Believe you me, I'd bring it back right now if I could. It's just a matter of scale. It doesn't work in large quantities. It's more of like, you could definitely implement it on like a small little township of maybe like 500 to 1,000 people. But if we're talking global demands for enough hands to be attached to the side of the stairs so that people can hold on to them when they're falling and tripping, well then, I'm sorry, we can't do that. But I will also say this, looking back, I'm grateful that I did that. But at the same rate, I do always want to be shaking it up, and I do always want to be coming up with like new ways of implementing methods where we can catch people from falling down the stairs, or even in the elevators, really anywhere people are standing. Just more handrails essentially is what I'm trying. But I don't want to just limit it to hands, because a lot of people are fucking hand phobic these days. They will be like, I will hold on to it, but not with my hand. Well, hey friend, I'm here to tell you that now we got all sorts of rails. We got foot rails. Are you falling down the stairs and wondering what other body part you could use to hold on to something so that you don't fall and break your back? Use your feet using the all new, brand new foot rails. That's right. When you're just, slipping on a banana peel right there, feet up in the air, before you smack your back on the ground and just, be out of commission for about 6 to 8 months, use your feet and hold on to our feet rails so you don't fall. And you're like, what else is there? What else could we use to hold on to? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I looked around and I said, hey, what else is out there that people could use to hold on to things when they're falling? And I noticed that in the male and the male and female population, there happens to be a very peculiar mechanisms that our bodies do individually. Our males have penises and females have vaginas, as the old saying goes. But guess what? These penises and vaginas could be inserted in, or have things inserted into them so that they can lock into place so they're not falling. Next time you fall down a set of stairs, you will notice that we've implemented dildos on the side of the stairs, so that if you happen to tumble and fall, as soon as you just catch yourself mid-air, flipped upside, if you could just lodge your vag on a dildo that's attached to the side of the stairs, you will now notice that you won't be falling, and it's hands-free. And the fellas are like, yeah, but the dildos work for the ladies. What about us? Well, I got you, fella. I got you. Flashlights attached to those are fake vaginas attached to the side of the staircase or escalator. Just, we'll do one dildo, one flashlight, one dildo, one flashlight, so that people, men and women, can insert or have things inserted in their genitals so that they're fixed in a locked and steady position, so that they're not going all the way down the set of stairs. And because a lot of people have their hands full these days, whether you're working the phone or writing a letter as you're walking down the streets, or you're training a pigeon, or you are, just slicing some cheese, or, just picking lice from your friend's head as you. So your hands are full. I get it. You're a multi-juggler, and that's what today demands from you. It's 2024. I know you're busy, don't have time to use your hands. So there you go. Land on a dildo or a flashlight with your genitals and lock yourself into place. We are actually looking to use these as safety mechanisms inside vehicles as well. A lot of people are like, yes, the seatbelt is great, but I wish there was something else that could hold me firmly in place. If you sit on a dildo, or again, insert your cock in a flashlight that's embedded into the seat of the car, when, God forbid, should that moment arrive, you will notice that you'll still be jerking around a little bit here and there, but it'll feel good, I'll say that. You might not be, you'll be a little bit more stable than just the seatbelt, but you will at least feel slightly better. So, just bring in the good, you don't need to invent the wheel. Sometimes you just need to merge good ideas together, and that's what I did. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's get a sip of this shit. Let's get right into it, because it's Wednesday, baby. What's going on in the world? Some great stories that are going on and around the world right now. I believe in the South Americas, I'm talking Brazil region, scientists, tourists, maybe regular people, maybe non-regular people, maybe people we are questioning whether or not they're actually people. I don't know, maybe some robots, maybe some humanoid, some we've found together. Doesn't matter who found it. We collectively discovered that off the coast of Brazil, sharks are getting high on cocaine. We have now got ourselves cocaine sharks, which I don't, let's break it. Let's unpack this together, shall we? Cocaine sharks. I've seen other animals dabble in the, in the substance game. I'm not shaming anybody. I will say this, simultaneously, we are coming out with stronger shit. There's stronger stuff than fentanyl right now being produced and just spread on the street. Stronger than fentanyl. I don't know how much stronger we're gonna get with our stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know the name, to be honest with you. It skips my mind right now, but it's stronger than fentanyl, they say. And fentanyl is apparently super strong. Even a tiny particle of fentanyl, you could just fucking, lose a bus full of your family members on a dust particle of fentanyl. So if we're going strong than fentanyl, I am, I'll just say this, I can see why sharks are doing just pure cocaine right now, because with everything else that's being cut up and chopped up into you, who knows what's being served out there. The point is that these sharks are now getting high on cocaine in Brazil. How did this happen? Where did this happen? Who did this happen? When did this happen? How did it? Who? Where? It's Brazil. Who? The Sharks. That's who. When? Fucking recently, sometime recently. Where? Brazil. Why? Because sharks are people too. That's why. Because they want to have a good time as well. So I'll say this, why are they getting access to cocaine? You could say that they skipped the whole gateway experimental phase of their life, which is just skip right to cocaine, which, shark be doing shark shit. I'm not here to live your life, whatevs. But it's happening apparently because, it might be untreated sewage, because people are doing cocaine, all right? And they're taking dumps and they're pissing and it's going into the sewage system and it's not getting treated properly. Like, it's not being treated right. Sewage needs to be treated better. Sewage needs support. Sewage needs a little bit pampering. Sewage needs to be talked to in a more positive manner. Good sewage, good. You are good sewage. There's a nice floater right there, because there's always so negative when it comes to, so sewage needs to be treated better. Sewage needs a little bit of a self-esteem picker-upper. Sewage needs a couple of maybe, not saying life coaches, but maybe a support group of some sort. Maybe sewage needs some friends, or maybe sewage fucking works great in isolation. I'm not here to judge the methods of sewage, but it's been mistreated or something along those lines. So it needs to be treated better is what they're saying. And it could be also people are partying in Brazil and they're going into the waters and they've consumed cocaine and they're taking leaks, massive amounts of leaks in the water, which is now leaking through their urethra into our bodies of water. Not my body of water, of course, but water is connected. Water is, rains over here from the same rain that it rained over there, or something about precipitation, the life cycle of what goes into the earth comes back out the clouds. The whole, you've seen the graphs when you were in grade 4 or something. Bedrocks, it gets fucking embedded in the bedrocks, and then I don't know, something about water cycles, rain falls down to the ground, goes into the oceans, you're pissing in the ocean, you've done cocaine, the sharks are now taking sips of your piss, essentially, which is contaminated with good cocaine. And they're getting high, man, and they are getting high, which begs the question, could we be sipping on cocaine piss and get high? Because if that's the case, I think we are missing out on a whole nother beverage brand, piss cocaine. Maybe that could be a derivative of Off Vodka. Perhaps we could look to work some now with those bad boys out there. But I'll say this, the best way to, I've never consumed cocaine, I'll say this right here, I've said it before. But now I suppose there's a new method. You could just drink it from someone's cock or vag, straight out the fucking, tap right there. A little bit of that purifil. Something about purification techniques. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to say that it's either people pissing in the water or the sewage being mistreated or illegal factories of cocaine, which are not really taking the best care to dispose of the waste material and getting cocaine in the water, which is not waste because we pay a ton of money for it. So something about the whole infrastructure. But the main point of this is that sharks are now getting high on cocaine. Observations have of course been made. You're asking, are the sharks acting any differently than they were before? Honestly, sharks are doing what sharks regularly do on cocaine. They are, yes. Are they showing up to Wall Street and crunching numbers? Yes. But I'm not saying that this is out of the ordinary. Okay, fine. Are sharks like? Is it 2:37 a.m. as a shark on a large 80s style satellite cell phone attached to a Merc or a Beamer that's also from the 80s? I'm talking topless, I'm talking braless vehicle because it's also hot outside. Are the sharks making phone calls from their phones attached to their vehicles, and it's got a nice spirally little wire because it's an 80s car. It's been retrofitted with all today's modern gadgets, and it's still, it's power steering and everything. But the point is, the shark is making a phone call at 2:37 a.m. and ordering a bunch of hookers and prostitutes to get a little bit of head. So are the sharks acting differently? I'm not here to say that they are, because I really wasn't into observing shark behavior, but as of now, I could say that they are definitely enjoying the party life. Are sharks engaging in gambling? Are they finding themselves at a local, or even, or are they, maybe they're flying out to Vegas, maybe they're in Vegas, or fucking, anywhere else really. Maybe they're in Hong Kong, maybe they're exchanging, US dollars for Hong Kong money and trying to bet a couple of bucks on 7. I don't know much about gambling and roulette, but I assume you pick a color and say a number. Red 8, 11 red, black 14.5. So, are sharks acting differently? No. Outside, are they wearing reflective sunglasses so that you can't see? Yes, but I'll say this, I've always seen sharks with reflective sunglasses, so nothing out of the ordinary. Are they waking up later and going out, starting their days with a drink? Are they getting a little bit of a Bloody Mary in the system? Are they getting a Caesar in the system at 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 in the morning? Regular shark activity. I'll say this: do I go to a restaurant or a bar and find a shark, in the bathroom stall next over doing coke? Because now it's used to doing coke in the water, so everywhere it goes, yes, maybe. Is it out of the ordinary? No. Are they still showing up to work, and are they still at the stock market selling buy? I don't know if they're referring to purchases. I don't know if they're talking about their sexuality. They're also yelling sell, sell, sell. I don't know if they're talking about like science. Are they talking about like the nuclei? Are they talking about, atomic level fucking, cell membranes? Are they talking about cell towers? Are they talking about cell phone bars? They are just saying buy, sell, sell, sell. Who knows? But they're showing up to work, all right? And I'm not going to be out here complaining about sharks in nice Italian suits if they're still doing things the way they were still doing it in businesses as usual. And that's the way we like business. Sell, 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 buy. I'm not going to complain. I'm good. I like my sharks high on cocaine as long as they're doing whatever they were doing before. If it starts interfering with shark activity, if they start acting like these whales that we've been seeing, I don't know what the whales are doing. They're tipping boats over left, right, and center. Next time you see one of these chumps, offer them a little bit of cocaine. Maybe they'll get a little bit more loose like the sharks, because I'll tell you, man, these whales are not to be, we've seen the videos pop up. Oh, another whale just popped over another boat. Next time you see a whale, you get inside its mouth. They've got giant holes for mouths. You get in there before they even get an idea of knocking your ship over. Videotape it. Nobody uses videotapes, but it would be nice for you to videotape it. Just use your cell phone or have a camera crew with huge over-the-shoulder cameras with giant lenses. Get in the whale's belly and just be like, what do you want? What's with the tipping of the boats? What are you trying to say? Are we making too much noise in the water for you? Are the frequencies bothering you? I'm sorry, Mr. Whale. You can't just be willy-nilly tipping over boats, and just like, maybe if it's down to talk and reason, maybe sit down and have a chat while still in its stomach. But fucking hold on to a tonsil or something. If you see it going for another boat, tug on the tonsil and just fucking maybe tickle his or her G-spot from the inside. Maybe they just need to fucking relax a little bit. Maybe they just need a shot of Off Vodka. Maybe that's what they need. I don't know what the deal is with these whales, but I'll say this, I'm happy about the sharks. Fucking happy about the sharks. Happy as a clam, they say. How happy are clams, by the way? Why do they get the highest degree of happiness in life? Happy as a clam, he was. I suppose everything's got to have a representation or like a symbolic fucking, emblem of happiness. Happy as a clam. They are smiling a lot of times. They are awfully happy creatures. So something there. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, what else is going on in and around the world, of course? I will say this, that recently we've just had, over the weekend, I believe there was an outage of Windows were affected over the weekend, is what I heard. I read a little bit into it. They said Windows was impacted all across the globe, and millions of people were affected because of Windows being impacted by faulty updates. Listen, man, it's 2024, fam. If you are, if your Windows is old Windows, and if you've not, recently, there's so many good companies out there that do. If you're not a handyman or a handy woman in and around the house, and your windows are, let's say, they're not as tight as they used to be. They're not, and what is as tight as they used to be? What is as tight as they used to be? What is as tight as nothing is as tight as it used to be. We'll get into that as well later down the line. But remember the tightness, but let's focus on Windows were impacted. So I'm assuming air has been getting in and out. You're now finding you're paying more for your heating and cooling because Windows was impacted by an update. People were not able to make their flights because Windows was impacted. And I'll say this, man, there's a good saying that resonates right now, and I just want to share it with you. They say when God opens a window, when the big guy shuts a window, he will open a door. When you're having issues with your room temp, open a window. Is it getting drafty in here? Windows, aren't they really just small doors? Windows, the soul to your, windows are to a house as eyes are to a human body. So you could say the windows of a house are the windows of the house. They're the sole windows of the house. Windows was impacted. I think that was, not quite sure what happened with Windows. There was an update issue. They couldn't update. A lot of the computers or something also may have been impacted. I don't know how Windows is related to computers, but somehow when your Windows are not updated every 10 to 15 years, it might impact your computers. And next thing you know, there's a bug in your Windows and you're like, there's a giant tarantula in my Windows because I didn't get the update. Next thing you know, computers are down. And the computers are downs. And then everything is downs because everything is now digital. Because we decided to do that in some time ago. So we went digital. I don't know what the correlation between Windows and computers are. But I say this, make better updates. I say prevent update malfunctions from happening by getting in there with I would suggest a strong cybersecurity network to just get on top of that shit and watch over it and just make sure that the grid and the electronics and the digitals remain digital. Let's maybe if your computer is right by a window, maybe remove it far from the window. Okay, if there's rain and your window's a little bit faulty, if your windows are a little bit just, they're a little bit older, then again, it's not as tight as it used to be. So water's getting in on you and it's impacting your computers. So And that might lead to many of things like flights getting canceled and people not being able to go online. And it saddens me when windows go down and people don't have access to the internet anymore. Because how are people, it breaks my heart, ladies and gentlemen. It breaks my heart when I know that deep down inside, there are millions of people not able to go online and get access to OnlyFans, Pornhub. They're not able to buy puss. Hell, they're not even able to sell puss. It's I'm gonna keep it together. I'm not gonna, no. I told myself don't get emotional, and I'm not gonna. I'll stay strong today. I will stay strong, but it just gives you something to think about. When people can't go online and buy and sell and buy, when everything is seamless and when everything is digital, because we decided that somehow our society doesn't work well enough with cash and coinage. Everybody, you show up to a strip club, start tipping with coin, and everybody's like, oh, I don't know where to store these coins. And the next thing you know, a few years goes by, everybody's happy with just, showing up to the ATM, taking their cash out their banks, and using minimal cash until one day somebody leaves a whole bunch of windows not properly managed, and it fucks up a whole bunch of computers in the basement, and now you're gonna need somebody to go out there and fucking get on top of it and go fix the bug, whatever the bug. Can I make that a little bit more realistic? The speed needs to be a little bit more real. Let's try that one more time. That was a little bit too fast. Can you do a little bit slower? Great, those are great computer sounds. Somebody needs to fix it. The point is, everybody didn't like coins yesterday at the strip club, but today they're begging for the coins. They are literally men's, women's, opening up cheeks, opening up tits, trying to catch a couple of coins. They're saying, give me the coins, I love the coins. And you're like, what happened there? I thought yesterday you didn't want the coins. Whole bag of pennies for you. Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted the pennies. But now you do. Or you don't. As soon as somebody fixes the glitch that's related to Windows, I say this, the takeaway from this is watch your ceilings, watch your windows, watch your doors. Place your computers in the center of a room, I would say, so away from all the entry points. Maybe get a computer watcher or a computer sitter, that's like a sitter for you have sitters for your dogs and your pets and babies too. Maybe get a computer sitter. That could be a new industry in and of itself. People who sit on computers. Maybe get a nice, yogi, with a bearded yogi who doesn't eat or drink anything but sun gazes through his nutsack and is weighing approximately 75 pounds, and he can count every bone in his body by just visually looking at him. But nonetheless, he doesn't talk much, but when he does, he will just give you good life lessons, or at least a nice shortcut to the local gas station if need be, should you want to quench a thirst and get a Slurpee. But I'll say this, the takeaway from all this is to not rely on Windows as much. Or you know what, tackle it, because we've already, that little midget is out the fucking midget bag, as they say. That little hot bucket has already squirted out a couple of salamis, if you know what I mean. So the salami's loose. The point is that maybe go full Windows. Maybe everything needs to, maybe we need to go full digital so that nothing can be impacted by us going full digital. I don't know, fight digital with digital, but also this isn't a fight. This is just perhaps a wake-up call. Hey, you need to wake up, whatever time it is out there, and make sure that our systems are not so susceptible to outages and cyber stuff. I'm not a big tech guy, of course. I'd say I don't count myself as a tech guy. I'm not, I'm certainly not a big tech guy. If I were to be a tech guy, I'd probably be a medium-sized guy, medium-sized tech guy, or small size. Definitely not a small. Medium. The tech is questionable. The size, I feel strong. I feel good about medium, but that's just me, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Now you're wondering to yourself, how can I get head? How can I get head and eat that puss while doing regular day tasks? I'm having a little bit of difficulty, for example, operating a 747 Boeing or another giant plane. You're like, I'm a veteran pilot. I like to get ahead while I pilot. It's I'm having a little bit of a difficult time. Try lowering her head fully onto your lap. I noticed that you want to make sure that she's comfortable too, but after all, there are people that are relying on you to land this plane. First of all, lift off, and then I said, let's take off and land. So I understand you want her to be comfortable. Her turn will come after or before, it doesn't matter. Right now it's about you and you at your task trying to get ahead. So make sure, tell the co-pilot to just take a smoke break, will you? Hey, Will, get out there and take a smoke break, will you? Give us 10-15 minutes, give us half an hour while we enjoy a sip of this Off Vodka and we get a little bit ahead so I can land this plane. You'll say that. It's good to take care of yourself so that you're not feeling you can't, So make sure that everybody, remove whatever the situation is. And you're like, maybe I'm not a pilot, and that's great. Maybe you are a seamstress or a seamster. Because seamstresses are female, I think are female. Seamster are males, or are they all? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Maybe you are sitting behind a sewing machine and you're like, how do I get ahead while working at the local sewing machine place? You'll notice underneath your desk, there's a whole lot of space. Use it. If she's kneeling down under the desk, you could still sew away and she could give you head while you're still working. And of course, ladies, I will not forget about you. I'll never forget about you. I will say this. If you are a pastry chef, for example, you are a female pastry chef, you're like, while I'm working, I like to get my puss eaten out. I like to have my puss, I like somebody's tongue right in between the labias, left, right, up, down, just in there, swirly, 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 ring a bell, come out, go back in again. I like to have that, but it's hard for me to do that while I'm baking a cake or making my favorite pastries for my local pastry shop. I would say this, you got your area where you're working, your workstation. Once you've gathered all your ingredients and you've placed them within proximity so that you could easily grab and reach, and you don't need to move as much. Just open your legs just a little bit wider than your shoulders, much like you're getting ready to prepare for an exercise, like maybe you're about to do a squat. So open your legs up just a little bit wider than shoulder width, and that'll give enough room for a guy to roll on his back on a broken office chair, just on a nice angle, 70 degrees, 45 degree, 30 to whatever angle he needs to be on, it doesn't matter. broken office chair, and you're there, wide stance, see, wide stance, wide, giant wide, just right there. And while you're mixing and breaking the eggs and putting pinch of salt here while you're showing how people can cook whatever it is that you're cooking or baking, he could be licking that box, and you're home. That's how you do it. And you're like, but I'm not used to it, but I'm not, it's just literally practice. Don't limit yourself. I've seen a lot of people come in there and say, hey, I'm losing my balance. Did I put enough salt in it doesn't matter, who cares? As long as you are getting yours, he's happy, you're happy. No, it's whatever. You're a telephone operator at a telephone operating, you work at a call center. Again, I would say use the area where you work to your advantage. If you've got a desk, you have plenty of room to put somebody there to either give you head or eat that box right underneath your desk. Desks are great. If you were an office worker, I see no problem as to how you would find time and space for you to do your work, but also get a little bit of you time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, where can you find these videos? Every Wednesday and Friday for the meantime. They're dropped on Instagram and on YouTube and on patreon.com/RobSadri. If you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show, check out patreon.com/RobSadri. Become a member. We're a little teeny tiny little podcast. We're growing global. Of course, we're taking it one day at a time and doing it together. Thank you once again for being a part of my life and letting me be a part of yours. Love you all. I'll be back here again on Friday. In the meantime, have fun, baby. Have fun. Get out of here. Peace.